We're back.
We're back.
It's still Sunday afternoon, and now we have our second guest, Deefa De'Ville. We're really pleased to have him as well. We've got two great guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that the others weren't great either. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
What would you like to know?
What do you do?
I am a digital creator, graphic designer, photographer.
Graphic design rules. Otherwise.
Seems a bit of a common theme going on here. Excuse me.
Ex-body piercer, jewellery specialist, light painter, crystal ball fanatic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bit of everything.
Yeah, anything involving colour, light, capturing emotion, movement. I love painting, I love art. I've always had a passion. My ex-Royal Marine Sergeant Major father, you can imagine that was a lovely upbringing.
Yeah.
He's passed now, we didn't really see eye to eye, strangely enough. He always said I'd amount to nothing and art would never pay the bills, but it was never about that for me. It was just pushing out that deep feeling that I could never express into words onto something and spilling it out as a visual that somebody could read with their own emotion and take what they wanted from that. That's what I love about art, you know.
Yeah.
An artist may paint, you know, a portrait of somebody. They might be deceased. It could be a lover, it could be somebody they've spotted on the street that they've fallen in love with, smitten, you know, on first contact, or that you or I may see it, notice the mole on somebody's face and think of our grandmother, or you know, the emotions you can get from art. And it's the same with my light painting. I mean, photography literally means to photos and graphy to paint or to draw with light.
Yeah.
That's what I've taken and I've run with that.
It's really lovely work that
Beautiful
they've been doing.
work.
It's so amazing.
I was going to bring you a print, but alas, buses and
That's
taxis.
all right. I mean, I think we've got him. We've got some links.
Well, I did actually put quite a few of Deefa's images up, so I think you should be familiar with what he does. It's beautiful work.
Beautiful work.
Thank you.
I'd
Yeah,
like
my bulk of my work can be found on this site. Am I allowed to say the FB word? Facebook. www.facebook.com/DD De'Ville Photography. The same with the Instagram prefix, or www.deefade'ville Photography.
We'll put all this up after.
.co.uk.
Actually, all these, while we think about this, all these interviews are being put up on our YouTube channel, which we've now got courtesy of Miri.
Yes, they're slowly
Mary does
going up.
Instagram
So we're
and
trying to
YouTube.
get it on there. So if you do miss them, they're on there, and we got the links.
So
as
all
well,
the links are on the
everyone's-
website too, which I handle.
Yeah.
So it's pretty 50-50 actually.
I think so. I think it's
pretty
it's all right. It's not bad.
Anyway, I'm really fascinated about because I've seen your work and you say it's light painting.
Yes.
So please explain a little about this if you could.
So layman's terms, let me just drop that down. Layman's terms, when you click a button, I appreciate some people watching this will understand how a camera works. This isn't for you. When you click a button on a digital camera, not necessarily on a phone, it's a different situation altogether. Two little curtains are lifted, and then a shutter snaps shut. Snaps open and shuts again.
Yeah.
This allows in a certain amount of light.
Yes, you can.
The longer you leave that open, the more light. We've all taken a photograph in the sunlight and it's just white.
Yeah.
That's called overexposed. There's way too much light. It's hit the centre within the camera and it's washed it out. So for me, it's a fine line between getting just the right amount of light into the camera for the time that I have the aperture open or the shutter open. Usually around 1 to 3 seconds.
So you're using a tripod then, aren't you?
Yes, definitely. Need a tripod. My models must stand literally concrete still. I can't stress that enough. Even the slightest movement of the hair, we're going to get what I call ghosting, and it'll leave.
So in some respects, it's like the original photography when they had to stay still
I was
for
about
like
to
5
say.
minutes.
Well, one of the first, I had it prepared, and his name has gone completely out of my mind. The first long light painting photograph, I believe, was somewhere around 7 or 8 hours long, and the guy took it. It's very. I'll find it. I'll post it to the group later at some point. It's hard to work it out, but you can kind of see a lane, and it was shot out of his window. There's another photographer I must mention again. His name, one of those things. I prepared all this and it's gone. He's blind, and he does light painting photography.
Really?
His work is incredible, and again, he doesn't do it for himself.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can't appreciate his work, and to hear that somebody does photography tactile wise using his hands and his other senses blew my mind.
Wow,
And I thought, well, if he can do it, then my work's incredible.
Fantastic.
So I usually have, I brought a few bits. I usually have my camera 20, 30, 40 feet away from me.
Yeah.
I have the other end of this. This has got a little button on the top.
Yeah.
It's no beam on this, so this is a radio transmitter, so I can be behind a wall and fire and it will still trigger the camera, whatever the camera's pointing at.
Right.
So I have the receiver on top of the camera. Can I stand up? Am I
Yeah.
going to be in frame?
No, it's fine.
So if you imagine the
yeah.
chair as my model, I need to position myself side on. I'm quite a big chap, so it's not always difficult. Some of my models are quite svelte. So I have to kind of position myself. Sometimes I'll have somebody the other side of the camera to say, no, move a little left, a little right, walkie-talkies, all of that.
Yeah.
Once I'm in the right spot, model will then stand completely still. And then I brought two with me. I've got about 12 of these. This one, bizarrely, was around £100. It's made by a company called Olight. This is what I call my pocket sun.
Right.
If I just demonstrate, because you'll see even in this light. Let me turn off the strobe. I'll explain that in a second too. No. Why am I flashing? There we go. So, that's the max setting, so
Right.
even in the light it's incredibly bright.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Most of my work is shot at blue hour, so you have sunset, golden hour when you get a beautiful wash of gold colour across everything. I'm sure Rob, previous guest, can appreciate that as an artist. Gives everything just this most intoxicating glow, and I think we're all smitten with that midsummer.
Yeah.
It's called blue hour. It comes about an hour after golden hour, but it's only around 15 minutes, 20 minutes long. So I have one chance in the morning, I'm not getting up that early, and one chance in the evening to get the shots that you've seen where it's quite well lit and everything's lovely exposed with the light as well.
Yeah.
So I need the really powerful light of that to cut through the natural light. Obviously the sun's very bright.
Yeah.
Once it gets darker, I can drop these down to very little light and then expose longer, maybe 7 or 8 seconds. I think you posted it, the shot of Knowlton Church.
Yeah.
That shot, I'm going to digress. Let me, so one of the shots I think you put up, I don't know if I sent you the one of the sunflower field with the lovely model Sophie.
No, I don't think I saw
And
that
there
one.
was a clear, almost translucent white striped shot.
Right.
That was done with this tube. This is just carbon tape. Quickly talk about the tubes. Back in the 70s and 80s when we had the fluorescent strips, these were used to protect people if the bulb smashed and it would catch in here. Now my mentor I discovered about 5 years ago online. He was a photographer and he was dabbling with, you know, sparkler photography and bits and bobs. Went into Home Depot, the Canadian version of that well-known branded homewares orange shop. And he picked up one of these for about $1 and thought, oh, let's go to the beach, see what we can do with it. So what we do is we'll pop the flashlight. I do call them flashlight, it irritates people, but you can see that I'll carry the light the whole way up. Now I do have white bits I can pop on the end which will bounce the light back as well if I need more light, or sometimes I'll use a feather. Very technical thing I like to use is the little cake fountains, the sparklers. One of these shots I sent you at Pulpit Rock in Portland. It's got the sparks on the end. That's I just like that, and then I carry on with, and then I get the, you know, if the wind's blowing in the right direction, you get this trail of sparks from the end. So that's that one. So Eric Paré, he can be found on YouTube.
To put these up, actually.
He wonderful guy. He makes these. He discovered my work. I've been smitten with him. I'd followed him, watched all 200 of his videos, learned everything I knew from him. He video called me one night at about 1:45 in the morning, and I leapt off the couch.
Oh, you would have been like, what?
Ran to Kitty, my wife. And she obviously
Yeah.
Bugger off, I'm going to sleep, tell me tomorrow. So I ran in, I answered the phone, he stayed on the line with me for about an hour. I was talking about my work and how encouraging it was, and it made me realise he's just a man.
Yeah, exactly.
And he once was in my position and told him about mental health issues and all this, that and the other. And he said, can I send you any gear? And he sent me, he makes these, they're quite expensive and it costs probably £20 per tube because they use professional grade gels in there and filter diffusion paper. This one is possibly my favourite tube because with the Blue Hour, that lovely
nice colour.
orange.
Love orange.
So yeah, he sent me a load of gear.
That's amazing.
And we've been very, very good friends since. And his partner Kim Omri is she's a professional dancer. Her work is incredible as well. I suggest being dancers yourself, check her out. She does a lot of like free, just expressive movement.
Yeah.
So the two of them together, they've been to Uini and Bolivia and the Salt Flats and the reflections. This is why my am I rambling?
No, it's good. It's good. Saves
I
us
tend to
talking.
info dump and
that's
I
great.
go all the way around and come back round again. So if I've missed anything, let me know. Yeah, I love the reflection as well. Hence the Kimmeridge shots. There was one where I caught the Milky Way in the background. See, I've done it again. I'll come back round. The Knowlton Church shot.
That had a complete
drone.
ellipse.
That was a fluke.
Was it?
So we were there light painting, and I was just setting up. This drone just come over the top of us. Now the last thing I need in a long exposure is the light of a drone zipping around to ruin my photography. And I thought to myself, light bulb. Ran over, info dump to this guy, what I do, who I am, can you do this?
Yeah.
I said, look, can you fly this in a perfect circle around the top of Knowlton for me? Yeah. And he had one of these big professional, we're not talking about a backpack one, this thing was about this big, had a red and a white light on it, and he had this big control, and he went, yeah, hang on. Click, 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 click.
That's how it was.
And it bumped a little, and he went, oh, I need to make an adjustment. He said, right, I'm ready. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So what I have to do, so I've got the transmitter in this hand. Yeah. So this is an art in itself, holding the torch so it doesn't fall out. Sometimes I'll have a hairband, I usually carry one or two underneath this. So I have to kind of hold this. Yeah. This will be on. And then, so I'll 3, 2, 1 the model. Yeah. And then fire the shutter. Now my arm stays completely straight. Oh, yeah. That's going to come all the way around, and then I get to here and I have to just let it go and trust. So I usually, you've noticed the models are all wearing a long skirt. Yeah. That's to hide the mismatch at the bottom. Okay. Right. Because it never lines up perfectly. No. But I might take 30 or 40 shots in an evening.
So you're behind the model?
I'm behind the model in all the shots. There's a little Photoshop. I adjust saturation, clarity. Yeah. Sure. And sometimes just paint out my foot or my tummy if it's poking out the side of the model on one side. But other than that, everything you see is all in camera. There's no photo tricks, no graphic work or CGI of any kind.
Mate, I really wanted to get. I was trying to find it on here.
Look on the website because I posted about 4 images on the website. So if you go to photos,
if I can go, I can try and get it up.
Yeah.
But I've got to show you because it's amazing.
I can't do it because obviously we're using mine to do the interview on.
Sorry, it's so find it.
So yeah, that was Katira. She is tiny, wonderful girl, beautiful girl. She's a belly dancer, loves cats, she loves dancing. Comes to about here on me when I'm stood up.
I've got my camera, but I don't know if you can see that.
That's the one that Rob was just talking. Deefa, was just talking about.
Yeah, that one there.
So that's all one shot.
That is one shot, and that circle was a fluke by a drone.
Yep, I must give a shout out to Julian Mennel, Jules M Photography.
Amazing.
We're great friends now, and we've been out a few times since.
Can I have a quick look? Because one of the ones I wanted to look at was that's one of my favourites.
That was the Kimmeridge one. I'll get to that in a second. That took probably 3 weeks of planning for about 20 minutes.
I think that is
stunning. That is. It's like
that
an
was
angel.
that orange tube there. I just
or Phoenix or something.
The white bit on the end there is actually just it's a very, very technical scientific piece of tissue stuffed in the end of the tube. It was a little piece of yellow tissue paper I had. And
It's flipping lovely, isn't it?
It's the reflections as well. It's so beautiful.
So yeah, that was 2 or 3 weeks of planning. I had to plan for the tide, the right weather conditions, because any cloud and it just ruins. Later on that evening is when we did the white tube with the Milky Way in the background.
Really?
So the only thing I did there is I shot the Milky Way, and then I shot the light painting, and then I composited the two in Lightroom afterwards.
I mean, yeah, Deefa sent me loads of pictures, and I was spoiled for choice, but you know, I had to choose like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they are stunning. I mean, I have to crop this one, I'm afraid, guys, but they are stunning.
That was the same model, Hannah. She's wonderful.
These are all on our website at the moment if you want to have a look in
So yeah,
more detail.
that one was a composite. That was 2 together, but to combine those 2 in one shot. Eric Paré has done it, and the guy's a master. I can't say his name enough. He's a wonderful, wonderful friend now.
Lovely.
I call him Sensei, and we are the Tube Tribe because we all specialise in this particular style of light painting.
Do you sell your work anywhere? Or?
I do. I have prints made, usually to order, because it's I find it just pointless having tons of bits dead collecting dust around the house. All of the borders I use are completely recyclable and recycled. All the plastic I use on there is completely recyclable as well. It can biocompost, but it does cost a little more than just buying cheap plastic and cardboard. And it's like this diamond paper I use, diamond cut Fuji paper, photography paper. It doesn't yellow or anything. It's wonderful, stay sharp for ages. I think I might have one left in an A3 of the Knowlton drone shot, possibly. I mean, they can be made, but yeah, that one's £45 for anybody.
£45.
Did you hear that? 45.
So George turned up. I said to him about the
That's actually
drone.
quite reasonable.
A3. A3, 45.
I mean, it can be more expensive if you've got more money. The problem is, I try not to let it roll me, and I'm a sucker, and I'll let stuff go a little bit cheaper, and you know, it depends how many bills I've got that month. You know, I think as artists, we all feel that occasionally.
Yeah, we're all in that same boat.
So I hid behind Katira. It was a 2-second shot, exposure. I dropped to the floor, Katira stayed perfectly still, and then Jules did his thing for 6 seconds, and then I closed the exposure on the camera. And we ran over to the camera with bated breath, pulled up the screen at the back, and it was just cheers of rapture because we nailed it in one shot. And I was like, bye-bye, see you later, and that was it.
Brilliant.
The Kimmeridge shot, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks of planning. We had to walk. I don't know if you're familiar with Kimmeridge, when you go down the little steps and you've got the old anti-boat turret gun thing there. We had to walk all the way out, right around the coast on the like this much land between the water with the tide out. At 11:30 at night, mid-August, baking hot. All my gear on my shoulders. I had everything set up, so I'm trying to carry all that. Sandflies go in the seaweed going absolutely nuts because I had the headlight on, so they're all swarming in my face. So I had to fire up 2 of these and mount them on top of my tripod with some gaffer tape and hold it up above my head to just keep them away from us.
No.
But yeah, we did that, and again, that was, you know, I think we were there probably 3/4 of an hour. I take anywhere from 5 to 70 shots, and I'll end up with 3 I'm happy with. The rest I keep, and then bit by bit, if I don't get out to shoot, I've got something maybe I can work with and manipulate a little bit in Photoshop. But yeah, majoritively it's that's how it is. Any of the other ones as well, where you see where I've got stripes or gaps, that's the that's that. So the camera obviously will only pick up the light parts of the tube, and anything else. If you're wearing all black, the camera won't see you as long as you keep moving in the frame, because it's only looking for light. I've just switched to, I've just bought an Olympus camera, which has opened up a whole world of possibilities. With my Nikon, when I fire the shutter, it opens the frame. The longer it's open, the more light's coming in, the lighter and lighter and lighter that frame is getting. The Olympus has a live light painting mode, where it will fire individual 2-second exposures one after the other. Now I take one for the background, then I can take 3 hours and just walk in and out of frame, I can colour in, you know, this cup here and put, I just bought these reusable beer bottle caps from a well-known Chinese cheap selling site for $1 something, and I can pop them on the end. They fit perfectly on the end, so I can colour in that cup orange. I can colour the phone blue.
That's really cool.
I can, you know, I've dismantled a fibre optic lamp that was in the another well-known Swedish shop in town that sells it.
You can name it. We're not like, don't worry.
Potentially, you might get into trouble later down the road. So it sounds like Flying Liger. Yeah, I dismantled that, and I've popped in a little red and orange gel into the bottom, and that fits on the end of the flashlight. And if I move that in the frame, it looks like fire. I should have sent you that as a shot of my beautiful wife with her hands like this, and I kind of moved it up and over on a 3-second exposure. But the new Olympus, it's incredible. I can add bits here and there and just come back to the frame and look at it, and it will only add new light. Yeah. So it doesn't shoot anything else or expose anything else. When I'm done and I finish the exposure, it puts all of those photos together into one image and disposes of the others. It's an incredible bit of kit, yeah. Wow. And it's pocket size, so it means I can carry this small bag that I've got with me here, 2 lenses and a couple of tubes and a flashlight, and, you know, wrap it all onto my bike and off I go. So,
brilliant.
So you say that you like this blue light in the evening, and obviously light dependent. I'm trying to remember the rest of the images you sent me. I think most of them are fairly quiet locations, aren't they? So you've got more control over surrounding light. Have you tried doing the light painting with models in areas which have more light? Like, I'm thinking like somewhere ridiculous, like Bournemouth Pier, for example, which is very bright, but you've got the same blue light in the background.
I did send you one, I think, where it was just like a wave of colour, like a rainbow moving along.
Because there were so many to choose from. He sent me about 20, and I'm just trying to remember them all.
It's very, very difficult.
Is it more difficult with more light?
Yeah, because with the ambient light, I can control that better. With any street lights or, you know, anything like that, they can blow out within the image. And they can detract, it can take the eye away. Sometimes I will, and then I'll go in and I'll use it as a tool in Photoshop, the spot removal tool that I use for models if they're worried because they've got blemishes. And so I can remove those lights from the image, but it's a lot of work, and I like to, where possible, just get the shot and do as little as possible to it, you know.
No, because I think your images are beautiful, and I think
absolutely. I
was just thinking out of the applications, and I don't know what this is the commercial aspect of me. I'm sorry, it's the graphic designer. I keep thinking about tourism, because I think your images would be really good for beautiful places that want tourism. BCP Council. Yeah. So
I'm available for hire.
Yeah, BCP. Come on.
So it's that sort of thing that maybe they aren't aware of, the people that make the decisions in BCP Council, or any other council for that matter, that, you know, this is why we're doing things like this, to bring people's work out. But it would be beautiful images.
Thank you.
I mean, they are beautiful images. I'm actually
to highlight touristy areas. This is what I'm thinking.
How you do it, because I mean, people don't realise what goes into something like that as a photographer. You know, people see a photograph. But they don't realise.
Well, let's make a date at some point. The warmer weather's coming. We can go out somewhere of an evening. If one of you drives, we can find a quiet location. We'll go out. We'll do it at light painting.
That'd be amazing.
I'm
definitely up for that. Oh God.
Bring a few people and a flask of coffee.
Let's do it. Can we?
We'll do a tango pose for you if you want.
Absolutely.
I'll do some sort of pose. I don't know what pose I'll do though.
But best not go into that.
Anything, just kind of like a free movement of dance, and then
I can do that.
Kind of hold it, you know, and then just stay where you are, and then I'll do the 3, 2, 1 again, and then just move, find another position. Nothing kind of rigid or solid. And when I do the 3, 2, 1, if you breathe from the diaphragm, and hold. If you breathe from your stomach, you can tend to wobble a little bit or shake during the exposure. But yeah, we can talk about all that. I was just going to say, BCP Council, the painting that a lot of locals didn't really enjoy too much. I'm sure it was wonderful along all the concrete down the promenade. Art, very subjective. Wasn't my thing, but I understood where they were coming from and I kind of grasped it. You know, if you're going to pay for that,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
well, you know, this will effectively act like a portfolio because you see, we are in contact with BCP
Yes, we
Council.
are.
And they are BCP Council, and they we're very happy because they're very interested in this whole idea, and they're trying to back us to get funding possibly for it, which is good. But of course, it also means we can highlight all our artists who are on our website, and we can draw their attention to the artists as well.
Do you know what? Today, I'm fascinating. I'm finding it all very fascinating today.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday fascination.
It's been incredible talking because Rob's
Absolutely.
still here behind the
Rob's
camera as
still
well.
Here. I mean, your works. It's just what?
Stop
it!
I have been contemplating running some workshops as well during the summer to teach people and bring all my gear along. I've got another wonderful toy as well called a Magilight, which is a digital version of this. Here's where it gets completely mind-blowing. For example, I could take a picture of your face, resize that, put that onto the memory card inside the Magilight, and then light paint your face in real time into another photograph and have that as a third dimension or the fourth wall in the background of that image. It's incredible. And I can change the colours and styles and stripes all at the click of a button on that.
All these just
so exciting.
I have one other point I want to make.
Go on.
BCP.
Go on, BCP Council.
You know all your lovely images. You know the images that you showed me because you did send me about, as I said, about 16, 20 images. Are you doing anything with them at the moment? Or those two images you don't have?
Not at the moment, but I mean potentially they could be licensed, not bought. I would obviously maintain copyright. They're my images, but they could be licensed for a fee to be used for advertising.
This is what I'm thinking.
BCP
And have you
actually
Have we got BCP Council?
because we've also had quite a lot of self-publishers on here recently as well. So I'm thinking graphic side again. If you wanted to do a calendar, for example, they would make a fantastic calendar.
Absolutely.
Because I think they pretty much represent every month the images I've seen. You've got ones which are more warm.
It'd be nice to include my crystal ball photography in there as well, which I haven't touched upon.
But this could also be nice as an attractive
that's another day. But I'm actually quite interested in the crystal ball photography as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can have Deefa back another time.
Can we have you back and we can do this? I'll just do that.
It's mostly within my hand, and then I will walk around for a little while, and I love the way that it changes the perception of everything you're looking at and literally flips everything on its head. The Victorians in death would light a candle the other side of a crystal ball so that it appeared upside down to communicate with their lost loved ones and such, and that kind of got me hooked. And that whole look, you know, the Alice through the looking glass thing, and Lewis Carroll and Lisa Collins for some reason. I think he was in The Professionals. Never mind.
Lewis
Collins was
That's an old classic, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah, potentially my work could be licensed for a small fee. Sorry, for a large
Any takers?
Calendar-wise, it's been funding for me because I am a stickler for the materials used, and I want everything to be recyclable, safe for the environment, safe for the planet.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm plant-based and do what I can. I don't eat meat or dairy, and each their own. I'm not preachy, but for me and my family, we try and do what we can. The world, unfortunately, is falling apart, and you know, when you've got people like Mr. Attenborough telling us we don't have much time, and then a child in Greta Thunberg, I know people mock her, but my goodness, what have we come to as a society when a school child is warning us as adults? Shouldn't it be the other way around, us directing the children, telling us that, you know, we don't have much time left and things are going bad,
and things aren't changing, and the supermarkets pay no attention. Tesco's.
I saw orange pieces in a plastic tub the other day, and I thought to myself, if only that fruit came in its own natural biodegradable wrapper.
Yeah, I know. Heaven forbid.
So, funding for a calendar has been tight because I would want to get at least sort of 50 to 100 of them made up, and they have to be the right print, the right company.
No, but you could do
making
print on
them.
demand. This is what I'm saying. You don't have to do everything like hundreds of canvases
Yeah, well,
anymore.
that's true.
I tried the one that rhymes with Hopify. I tried the one that rhymes with
I like
Betsy.
what you're doing. Yeah.
I tried the one that rhymes with head tubble, and I put so much time and effort into setting up these shops.
Yeah.
Another thing I do, I make these little tiny glass bottles with a little full moon suspended in there with a little thing on that says "to the moon and back." They were £10 or £15, completely handmade. I put them up on the one that rhymes with head bubble and Betsy. I sold about 4, and the time that you need to put into pushing and pushing and pushing.
That's the trouble with these
just
companies
gave up.
now,
I couldn't do it.
isn't it? These companies, they give, it sounds all great putting on there, but then you just
it's very deflating because it does. You get to a point you think, "Am I no good? Is my work bad?"
I know what you're saying.
You know,
you think, how are these people selling loads of stuff? They've got these, they have these headline of people making a massive living out of this, and you're like,
it's called.
Well, how's that?
They're models, and it's
so basically it's all fake.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Any other
Don't
questions?
believe
I do tend to waffle.
We're going to have to bring it to him because I have to disappear to do a dance workshop upstairs.
Unfortunately, but absolutely fascinating.
Yeah,
I think our guests today have been brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's been really good, and I'd love to have you both back.
Absolutely.
No problem.
It'd be great to do. I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
Do the.
Yeah, we go out to
I like that.
Portland.
Oh, I'd love it.
Down to Pulpit Rock.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful place.
Yeah.
Certain times in August as well, the Milky Way just sits perfectly just off of there. And because it's so dark, they've changed the lighthouse now from, sadly, there is something nostalgic and romantic, for me anyway, about lighthouses. And it's a shot, actually, if anybody's interested. I can't remember her name. I met her randomly in Swanage one day, and she was the great-great-granddaughter of the last lighthouse keeper
Oh, you're
of
joking?
the UK, and there's this whole other story behind it. It's all, have a big old scroll through my Facebook posts, and this wonderful, beautiful soul of a woman. I've spent probably 3 hours just chatting with her about her ancestry. Something very nostalgic about the beacon and the beam sweeping through fog, and reminds me of these old films and shipwrecks and dramatic boyhood adventures.
So much about this place, isn't there, down here? You don't
They switched
realise.
to an LED now, and it's just on.
Oh.
There are times, so that doesn't give off much light. So if you're in the right spot on Pulpit Rock, it's the view of the stars. There's very little light pollution there, so it's completely dark. Somewhere else I'd love to go with all of this as well is Sark, because there's zero light pollution there. That is phenomenal. But lots of places I want to go. Penny Fan, I think the name of the place is. It's this little lone tree in Snowdonia in Wales on a lake. Sorry, I'm itchy.
It's alright, don't worry.
Lots of places. I want to go up to the Brecons in Scotland. There's all these wonderful places, and I don't drive, so it's can be problematic getting to these areas. But
amazing.
It's amazing. Well, thanks very
I don't know
much.
what to say.
No.
I'm
Thank you.
amazed.
Thank you
I
for
am
coming
actually
in.
gobsmacked and amazed.
Especially as it was a bus and a taxi, I think, as
Yeah,
well. So
really
thanks very much.
appreciate that. Brilliant.
Well, the bus I was going to get was going to bring me straight up to the hotel that rhymes with Demia. And I was going to walk down, and then it's Sunday. And I've got my friends
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
We
Anyway,
really appreciate Sundays.
thank you both our guests. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
next week. We're back on Tuesday. We've got more people to come and see us. So look out for that. I'll be putting their
CP Council.
and I'll have a
Little bit of a dig.
visit all our channels because they're growing. And hope you enjoyed this afternoon, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. See you on
Take care.
Tuesday. Thank you so
Bye.
much. It was brilliant. Thanks. Bye.